Stories passed down from generation to generation. Every family has some. But what happens when one man's World War II fighter jet story turns very real for his grandson? This is NTTV News reporting live from the scene.
When I was probably 7 or 8 years old, my great-grandfather would tell me stories about the maneuvers coming through Middle Tennessee. And he told us of various things that he and his wife, my great-grandmother, did, as far as they would cook breakfast for non-commissioned officers. Officers would get upset because the non-commissioned would get home-cooked meals and they had rations. And then it came to this story of the airplane. Our hayfield at that time, probably a mile long, so they used that as a runway. And my great-grandfather said he would go out in the field and see planes hitched out next to the fence just like horses. And he said this one day they were doing their maneuvers, and I was always under the impression that the plane took off from the field, but it did not. Like we found out, it came from Chattanooga, and it was doing its maneuver and went straight into the ground and exploded, and that's pretty much the story. He said that it was buried there, and he pointed over there. So we were kind of vague in finding it, but Charles and I were working on a fence one day, and Charles comes up and he says, "Hey, do you know the story of the plane?" And I said, "Yes, I do." "Do you know where it is?" I said, "I know about where it is."
And just a few days later, the remains of the wreckage were found. With plenty of intact parts and a binder detailing the history of the fighter craft and its discovery, David looks forward to seeing these items placed in a museum for future generations to admire. This is Cabra reporting, NTTV News.